Welcome to the channel. It's AlmightyDen, and if you follow me, you subscribe on this channel, you know that this is all about making money, whether it's stocks, cryptos, trading, and also sports betting as well, because we do participate in sports betting over here. And today I want to show you guys how to create winning NBA parlays for this year's playoffs. Now, it's something that you need to understand before you get into this video and before you start making parlays. If you're not already making parlays and partaking in online sports betting, you do have to have the psychology that when you are betting, when you are gambling, you will lose. You will lose. That's a part of the game. There are a lot of things, especially in sports, that we absolutely cannot control. But the trick is try to put things in your favor. You know, put the odds in your favor a bit more. Do the research, look at the statistics, and see what's likely to happen. Now, me personally, when I put my parlays together for the NBA, for the playoffs, I look at a few things, right? Number one, if I'm looking at points, I'm looking at field goal attempts. If I'm looking at players, I'm looking at minutes, who's starting, who's getting a lot of minutes. I'm also looking at averages, and I'm looking at matchups. Those are important things to look at when you're looking at NBA, especially if you're going to play points. Now, another thing that you want to realize is this: that a lot of the times that when we put these plays in, when I put these plays in, everybody thinks that their plays are likely to win, as you should. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do something that you don't believe in, but there's different level of risk you can take. And as you can see, I have a play over here right now, total to about plus 1,040 odds. So the odds for that, for me hitting that, are, you know, pretty up there. You know what I'm saying? But it's a very nice payout for a very small amount of money. So I'm saying, simply put, if you put in $100, let me go to it. If you put in $100 right here, you get $1,040. 10x your money. So understand the reason I like to play like this. Now, my odds aren't always this positive. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do a lot smaller ones if I want to get more of a safer play. But, you know, I'm playing with winnings. I'm already up this week. So I take it week by week for sure. I'm already up this week. And even if I do take an L right here, I feel like the risk-reward ratio is very, very solid. You have to look at the play that I have here. I've already told you my psychology behind it, but don't be afraid to also play safe and build bankrolls. And there's many strategies when it comes to sports betting. But this one that I'm showing you is one of my favorites because it focuses on minutes, shot attempts, and stats that are already most likely to happen. Now, a more safer bet, you know what I'm saying? I like to go plus 300, plus 400. For me, I feel like that's pretty safe. But a lot of things can happen. Understand that you have injuries against you. You have fouls. You have players getting tossed. If any of those things happen, pretty much your parlay is done, is dead. You know what I'm saying? Any of those things happen. Or if the player for some reason just doesn't want to give a player minutes. Now for me, I like to play with stars that I know are going to get shots, stars that I know are going to be in the game, and starters. Now, the parlays that I like to play, I don't consider them lottos. Everything that you see right here in front of you is exactly, not exactly, but is likely to happen. We have seen it happen in the past more often than not, especially as of recently. You know, I like to look at the past 5 games, the past playoff data before I put together a parlay or some plays. And understand, you don't have to play all of this. You can play some of it. You can take some of it. You can make it smaller. You can increase your likelihood of you actually hitting if you like some of these more than the others. But we all know that the Golden State Warriors, let's start with their first, have a home game today against the Memphis Grizzlies. The series is tied 1-1. So I do like the Golden State Warriors in that aspect, as well as Memphis Grizzlies will be missing a player today, Dylan Brooks. He got a flagrant foul last game, so he is not playing. He's out for Game 3. The Warriors are back home. The series is 1-1. I don't see them. I know they don't want to go down 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Now, even if they do, next game, I'm still on the Warriors. You see what I'm saying? I do believe in the Warriors. I don't believe they'll drop 2 games in a row at home, but I do think that they have a very good likelihood to win this game today. But okay, let's go let's start off with Giannis. Since Giannis, I have one bet on Giannis to get 30 points. Now this one right here, let's look at the psychology behind this bet. Let's go to his past 5 games. If you look at his past 5 games and his previous 2 games against the Boston Celtics on the road, he took 27 shots and 25 shots. Now, if you mean to tell me if Giannis is taking 27 and 25 shots a game, averaging 26 for this series, I definitely believe that he can get 30, especially at home. Understand that he hasn't been shooting well. 40% and 36% is not normal for Giannis. He missed 4 free throws his last game, so if he hit 2 of those, that's 30. The first game of the series, 0 for 2, he missed 5 free throws. He can get that. He can get 30. Just because he didn't get 30 those past 2 games, I would prefer him to hit 30, average 30. But if you look back in the first round series where he was taking less shots, and still getting 30 points, I'm confident that it's possible, it's likely for him to get 30. Every time he's taken over 20 shots, or in the previous series, you can see 27, he got 33 when he got 20 here, he got 32 when he took 22 here. He's taking more shots in those two games, and as you can see, he had opportunities to get the 30. He gave himself a chance. That's one of the most important things to me, is that when I put a player in a parlay, I want them to actually give me a chance for it to actually hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you expecting the player to get 30 points for you, you at least want him to take enough shots so he can get 30 points. If he's taking 25 shots, this is Giannis here, you know what I'm saying? In the playoffs, at home, series is tied 1-1. There is no Chris Middleton. He needs to take shots. He needs to score. So if he can increase his efficiency, which is 38% in this series, close to about 56%, that's an easy 30. 56% last series in April, 54%, 38% is not normal. But he increases his efficiency, which I expect it to go up. You know what I'm saying? We're just looking at averages here. I would definitely could see him hitting 30. So that was a good risk-reward ratio for me. I take the play. Now, what else do we have in the parlay for today? We got Klay Thompson to get 20 points. Now, this one here is a little, you know what I'm saying? It's a little risky. You know what I'm saying? It's a little risky for sure. But you got to understand this. He took 19 shots in the previous two games, just like Giannis. 19 shots, shot terribly. 26%, 31% in the first two games on the road. But he gave himself a chance. Now, if you look at the previous series when he took 20 shots, 32. Previous series, 18 shots, 26. Previous series, 19 shots, 21. 15 shots, 19 points. So that's pretty close. So it's definitely possible for him to get 20 points. Definitely possible. Now, he has been shooting back. He does need to step it up. But I do believe that he can step it up. I know Klay Thompson can catch fire. I know he can snap. But 2 for 12 from 3, 3 for 10 from 3 is not very good. He can do better than that. He can play better than that. They've had days off in between. 20 points is not that many points for Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson can definitely obtain 20 points. Now, of course, we want him to play, but this is what makes the parlay the parlay. We're giving ourselves an opportunity here. We do see that he is giving us a chance. He is getting the minutes. He's just not knocking down the shots. But if you look at game 1 against the Grizzlies, he took 19 shots, 2 threes right there. We're good. He missed 2 free throws as well. That could have been an easy 20. The last game, he just had a bad game. He didn't get to the line. He's 2 for 12 from the 3-point line. I don't expect that to happen again, but I think that the Warriors have a lot more incentive to win this game and play better for sure, because they do not want to go down 1-2 to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now let's move on to Steph Curry, right? Now we go to Steph Curry. I do think he can get 25. Now I chose the alternate lineup 25. Like I said, he's taking 25 shots, 20 shots a game. He got 27, 24, already averaging 25 for the series. That speaks for itself. I do not expect him to go 8 for 20 again if he does. I mean, if they're taking 20 shots, 20 plus shots a game, they are full. These are NBA superstars here, right here we're talking about. They can easily get that. These players are capable of getting 10, 15, 20 points in a quarter here. So you mean to tell me he can get that for a game? I do believe that can happen. If you look at the previous series once again, he scored over 25 points pretty much in every game except for 2 out of the past, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7. 7. And then the 2 games he didn't, 5 for 13, game 1 of the playoffs, the first game of the playoffs, and then 8 for 20. He was 1 point off. Come on, man. That's Steph Curry. Now something's on the line. They are at home. I do believe that could happen. Now, since I do believe Steph Curry will get at least 25 and Klay Thompson will get at least 20, I've combined this with Draymond Green to get at least 6 assists. Now, this one is like one of those ones I know that it can happen and it has been happening, but you know what I'm saying? It's a part of the gamble, but we're just kind of playing the statistics at this point in the series. As you know, game 1 he got ejected. He had 3 assists early on. Throughout the entire playoffs, he has had at least 6 assists every game. At least 6 assists every single game. So I think that's a good chance. And if I'm going to put the parlay for Steph Curry to get points, 25 points, and Klay Thompson to get at least 20, then I do believe Draymond Green will be feeding them on some of those assists. So these plays kind of come together and they add up. And then we're going to go to Andrew Wiggins right here, rebounds. This one for sure is like one that it seems likely to happen. But sometimes I could tell you, like, even though you look at his previous games, he had 9, he had 8. In the first round, he had at least 6 every game except for one time. He averaged 8.5 this series, 6.8 last series. I do believe that he could get 6, but rebound sometimes, the ball bounces a certain way. That's something you really can't control. But I do like the odds of it happening. I'm looking at the past statistics. If you would have put that bet on that in the last 7 games, you would have hit. You know what I'm saying? You would have hit. That's the way I like to look at it. So I'm gonna take a chance on it. So these are pretty much 5 pretty solid plays that gives you a solid chance to hit. Now I'm not saying you have to combine all these plays and the Warriors to win. You can pick which ones you like the most and add them and tweak them to what you like to do. But the odds are in our favor for these things to happen. You know, these things, each of these things are more likely to happen than did not happen. You see what I'm saying? So I do like those plays. And now, honestly, as the playoffs gets deeper, you know, as the games get closer, as we get closer to the finals, the games are going to get a little bit more difficult to prove because we're going to have less options. So I think that's one of the trickier things with the playoffs because sometimes there's a lot of upsets. And sometimes players don't step up like you expect them to, or they might be one off. Because I have been one off a couple times in this playoffs where I really would have been up right here. But this is definitely a pretty. This is definitely this is I like the odds, but it's still a gamble. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying that I don't necessarily feel like it's a lock. Sometimes I feel like things are more certain to happen. But since we have a lot of variables in this game, we have a lot of variables. The more variables you have, that's why the odds are so high. Because we have so many variables. But you know, if you were to have only 2 of these things, of course, like if you took Giannis off, or if you took Golden State off, and let's just say you just had these 3 things right here. You see, that's only 207. You see, that's kind of likely to happen there. I'm just when you keep adding these legs, even though a lot of these legs are likely to happen, you know, the more variables you have, the less likely it is to hit. That's just the nature of the game right there. But I do think that this is a good chance. I think it's a good possibility. I have been hitting with this strategy for sure. It's not necessarily a lock. I don't want you to come over here and think that I'm giving you locks. This is just come over here talking about strategies, looking at stats, and saying this is how to create a winning NBA parlay. You know what I'm saying? You have to put things in your favor. In your favor. Like I said, focus on minutes, attempts, make sure they're in the game. And if you can find a good 3-point parlay to add, you know, if you can find something good to add to your parlay that boosts it up, because you do want to make it worthwhile. You don't want to just be having these parlays where, like, you're not really just winning that much. Because at this point, like, my strategy is this. You're going to lose. Oftentimes, you're going to lose more parlays than you win. But if your winning profits are more than the amount that you lose, then you're still in the green. That's what's important. That's what's important. That's why it's important to create these parlays the best way you possibly can. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, if you need more of a certain play or a play that you feel a little bit stronger about, make the parlays a little bit smaller so you can actually, you know, give yourself a better opportunity. You know what I'm saying? That's also a very smart thing. But when you're up, you know what I'm saying, you could try to sprinkle a little bit, try to run it up a little bit more as well, because these type of plays, if they hit big, it's going to set you up for some more bankroll builders. It's going to set you up for some more hedging. All that type of stuff. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, cut the notifications on. Until next time, Densky out.